supervised time after school hours was the time that kids got in trouble. So we kind of conjured up the idea of maybe we need a place for kids to go that was supervised after school hours, and that's what kind of spawned the idea of starting a Boys and Girls Club.
I remember an evening when I was out at the ball fields, Williams Ball Field, and I was running late for one of our first staff meetings that our director was putting together.
And I was curious as to what made him late. But after the meeting was over, he was all excited, and he said that
there was a dad out there who I'd known for years. I'd coached his son in some football with my son, and we started talking about the Boys and Girls Club. And I kind of don't remember much about the evening other than he was asking questions and I was answering. And
I was talking about how nice it was to have this organization to give the kids a place to play.
Once I started talking, I guess I couldn't stop.
That conversation and his passion for the need stuck in my mind, and that's how it all began.
That night, and my boss was kind of like, well, why are you late? And I told him, well, I was talking to a volunteer, and I may have a story to tell you when we're done with this meeting.
He had just met with a parent who was interested in helping us with our vision of creating a youth center. And I said, oh, who is the parent? And he said it was John Akers.
Well, I had started a company called Akers Gaming, and certainly at the time of this conversation it looked like it might turn into something worthwhile, but it was a ways off.
And at that time, neither Steve nor I really knew the significance or the magnitude of what that conversation would turn out to be. We had no papers, no design, but it was clear that everyone in the room was talking about a single vision, a common vision regarding creating a community youth center for Corvallis. That John made a pledge for $1.5 million. Needless to say, the four of us were, I weren't going to say dumbstruck, but startled.
We decided we'd do a public offering of the stock, and there was an opportunity then to kind of put my money where my mouth is.
In November then, when I received the call from John saying that he was ready to make his gift. And that gift now was a gift of stock in his company that he had started. And that stock that he was going to give now had doubled to $3 million.
And I believe that was the catalyst. We certainly wanted to make sure that it wasn't built just on that. So we put up the money as kind of a matching grant and asked that they raise that much again from other people to show that there was community interest in having a facility like this. And
the atmosphere around in the community at that time when we were thinking about this club and selecting sites was mostly very supportive, and especially the collaboration with the school district was key to the success of the plan.
Well, there was some controversy about the club. I feel like all in all the community was behind the club. The schools, the families, social service agencies, city government, there was a lot of support for the club and its concepts. But there was a group of non-supporters too.
Well, one of the things you learn about Corvallis is that everybody has at least one opinion. And oftentimes that opinion is against change. And as much as I'll sit here and rail against that right now, I've got to agree that Corvallis is a pretty livable city and that everybody's opinion has made it that way.
There still were a few people in the community that were really concerned that having the club at this location was going to bring a lot of teenagers around that would just hang around the peripheral of the club and cause issues or litter or be smoking on the corner, things like that. But it really did not come to that.
And then there was also a comment from one of our non-supporters that if the club were built, it would attract unsavory characters. And so my husband Mark and I, thought about that. We didn't really like that comment, and we shared it with our son, who was about 8 or 9 at the time, Bobby. And we, you know, said, anything you'd want to do, Bobby? And he said, well, I think we should tell people that kids aren't unsavory characters.
Right here today, we are drawing, me and my friend Bradley are making a quiz for RuneScape. Do you have anything to say for yourself? No. Okay, well, that is NPR News. Thank you for watching.
So we made a sign together with Bobby, and it was one of those meetings at the city council chambers where it was open to public opinion. So there was the pros and the cons at the meeting. And so we made a little sign, and Bobby was happy to walk around the council chambers carrying a sign that said, I am not an unsavory character.
There on Circle Boulevard, right across the street from the club, was a couple that were very concerned about you know, this project, Mr. and Mrs. Fox. And after they saw the club being opened and operating for a few years, they became one of our biggest supporters. And Mrs. Fox was in our art and craft program as a volunteer many times, multiple days, every week, working with the kids, and she just loved it, and Mr. Fox helped with many of the activities. And so as the programs unfolded, this family embraced the organization.
There were concerns about safety, there were concerns about noise, and then there were concerns about you know, the darker side of the kids, of what is purportedly a lower economic group, and what they would do to a neighborhood. I remember getting one letter from a person, and we got anonymous phone calls and all sorts of things on opposition saying, you know, I don't want those kids in my neighborhood. And you know, I think that it was just fear-based, and those kids are our kids. Those kids are us when we were small, and those kids could have been me when I was little. And I think that you know, the 10 years that have passed have proven that those kids are okay.
Is that we want to continue to do what we've been doing really well, which is serving the K through 5 or the elementary students. And what we also want to do is to reach back into, I think, the roots of the organization. Looking at the 2020 vision document from the city of Corvallis, talks about creating an organization that is focused on teens. And in there it specifically names the Boys and Girls Club of Corvallis.
It continues to evolve and grow and change, and it's a building that's flexible enough to accommodate those varied uses, and it's as you're probably aware, there's a new dental clinic going in now.
The project that Dr. Ken Johnson is working on with us by putting a free dental clinic into the organization. And so what we'll be focusing on is serving school-age children across Corvallis, and our goal is to actually serve across Benton County, and then perhaps even in the Mid-Willamette Valley with our partner Boys and Girls Club organizations, to be able to bring free dental services to those children.
Boy, it's just something that I love to see. Every time my wife or I drive by there and you see the kids going in and out, you realize how meaningful that is to the community and how pleased we are to have been a part of it.
I'm thrilled with what's going on at the club. There's wonderful leadership, the board is strong, community has been behind it. It's wonderful what's happening.
It's really hitting stride and matching the vision that all the individuals had for it 10 years ago. It's fantastic.
Is that there are a multitude of ways to participate at the club. We have hundreds and hundreds of volunteers that provide service to the kids in our community, whether that be through coaching one of our mini athletics programs, working in our art center, helping us in our audio mixing lab, serving in our dental clinic. There are literally many, many ways that you can bring your talents into the organization and share with the children.